Inside Boxing's Throwdown. Aurelio Martinez, Steven Johnson. And this is our second segment of the week.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, exciting weekend of fights. As in the first segment, we talked about the from Friday on leading to the two major fights that were really crowd pleasing and exciting and interesting and whatever else you want to throw in there. But they were great. So, Steve, why don't we go ahead and talk about the little guys, Abner Mares and Leo Santa Cruz. Now, I'm going to eat a little crow here because in the past couple of weeks, I mentioned that I felt that it's a good fight because I felt both of them were just a little past their prime.
Yep.
And because the two were in the same boat, it was going to make a good fight. And it did make a good fight. It made an excellent fight. But it had nothing to do with them both being over their prime.
Exactly.
These two guys, I'm telling you, they can continue fighting. Okay, so my apologies to Santa Cruz and to Abner. You guys are not even close to being past your prime. You guys put on a show. Kudos.
Let me say this right off the bat. You know, we're big on Inside Boxing Throwdown talking about keep it classy. Okay?
Yeah.
Talk about classy. Abner Mares in defeat, where it was very obvious to me that he felt like he won the fight, but he wouldn't allow himself to be goaded by the interviewer into saying anything negative about Leo Santa Cruz. As a matter of fact, he went as far as backing up his statement that he made all week long that whoever won the fight was going to be, you know, the man. Mm-hmm. And he backed that up by saying, yep, that as far as he was concerned, that Leo Santa Cruz is the best featherweight there, and that he, you know, looked forward to seeing him fight Gary Russell. Yep. But that if Gary Russell doesn't want to fight him, he said he'll fight Gary Russell, or he looks for a rematch with Leo.
I agree. Again, either one of these two fighters can get in there and mix it up with anyone. Both of them would give Gary Russell everything he can handle, or possibly defeat him. And that's the truth. Okay, so
I didn't want to get away the fact how classy, and I think
very classy. And
everyone that saw the fight that will realize in his post-fight interview that Abner Mares was as classy as it could be.
He was,
and that's something unique now.
You know, talking about the fight itself, boy, I tell you what, from the onset, from the beginning of the bell when the fight started, it was obviously how this fight was going to take place because there was no filling out round. There was no loosening up. There was no do what fighters do, get in there and stretch the muscles and kind of let it loosen up before you start to engage into powerful action. I mean, just from the get, they went right at it, and I mean, they went at each other with a vengeance.
And you might remember I told you after the second round, I said Leo can't stand. Abner can't go like this for much longer. I said if he goes like this, the fight won't go past 10 rounds. Not only didn't it go past 10 rounds, but even when they finished, they were still. And I'm telling you what, it was like Abner. You know, Abner's forte is to get inside and bang. You know, go to the body, bang and bang and bang. Leo Santa Cruz is an excellent boxer at using his reach and keeping distance and making people pay. But even when Abner got close and started banging out, Leo Santa Cruz returned the favor, and they were just going like a couple of rock and sock'em robots, man. I mean, it was great, and to me, that was the telling point of the fight for Santa Cruz and how he took command of the fight and won the fight is because he did not allow Abner to into his game plan and fight inside. And he didn't shy away from that. He says, well, if I get caught and we get close quarters and we start fighting, I'm going to bang it out with him. And they bang it out. But when they went on the outside and Leo started to use his reach, there was really no competition. Yeah, that was no difference in it. But I will say this, once again, the scores from the judges kind of insane. I could have actually seen one judge in that fight seeing Abner winning. I mean, if he would have split decision, I wouldn't have had a problem with that, but unanimous decision by such a wide range, I don't know. But like I said, kudos, great fight, a fan-friendly fight. But I'm still so much impressed with Abner Mares, the way he accepted. Because remember, he was the one who kept saying, "Hey man,
I'm not gonna mess around like last time, and I'm gonna make it happen. And whoever wins is the best. And he ate that, and I give it to him.
Good.
Okay, let's move into the fight that we want to talk about. We got 5 minutes to talk about what we all knew. I have to start off just saying this. Last week I told you how this fight was gonna go. Mm-hmm. I said Terrence Crawford is gonna beat the brakes off of Jeff Horn. He did. He beat the brakes off of him. I still say on radio that fight postponement. It looked to me like Jeff Horn in this because remember he was just talking.
Yeah, he was.
And I think that fight postponement gave him and his team a chance to really look at Terrence Crawford. Because it looked to me like last night that like he was like, I don't deserve to be in here. I don't need to be in here with this dude. He never was aggressive like he was with Pacquiao. Now it could have been because Pacquiao was so much smaller.
Yeah, he tried. He did try, but just couldn't do it.
Well, you remember what Terrence Crawford said on Thursday? He said, "I'm not a little guy like Pacquiao," and that's what showed. See, he didn't waste no time.
And when people look at the two fights, it makes sense because Pacquiao, and I've said it for a long time now, Pacquiao has no business fighting at that heavier weight. Mm-hmm. And that first fight, if you remember, Horn with his lunging in, coming in, and manhandling, he just manhandled Pacquiao because Pacquiao was so small. His weight and his force was able to bully Pacquiao because Pacquiao was so little, and that was the change. But even then, if you remember, Pacquiao was landing the better punches.
Yes.
Okay, Pacquiao was landing the better punches, but he just couldn't handle the size and the heaviness, okay? Here, he did the same thing, and if he had any success, the only success he had was in the first round because he was lunging in and cut Crawford with a couple of them lunging in right hands. But people that know boxing, when you lunge in and you throw that right hand when your feet are not on the mat, it takes away the power. So them had no effect on Crawford. They don't have any effect on anyone that he's going to fight that's his own size because you take away all the leverage. You take away all the strength of the punch because you're leaving your feet. Okay, so he tried that and he thought his heavy weight would go into Crawford and start to manhandle him and bully him. Guess what? It didn't happen. As a matter of fact, it was the opposite. Terrence Crawford turned that around and started to manhandle him, started to throw him around, started to twist him around, started to just kind of the bully got bullied, okay? And the bully showed that he really didn't have a whole lot of boxing skills. He was very basic. I mean, it was lunge in, throw the right hand.
Well, let's be honest. Yeah. Jeff Horn looked like an amateur fighting Terrence Crawford. The fight was very easy for Terrence. He did what he wanted to do. It took him one round to figure out that this dude really had nothing, and he went on and toyed with him. Actually, let me say this too, man. I know you might disagree, but the fight, Jeff Horn's corner should have thrown in the towel in the 8th round. This dude had nothing left. I guess they were determined to let him just get beat down. But then saying that, we go into the 9th round when the fight was stopped, and it was kind of early stoppage. But I guess the referee I saw that it could have been stopped in the 8th and just said, I'm not going to let him take any more.
Horn was getting hurt. He wasn't showing it, and he wasn't going to show it. That's the heart and pride of a true fighter, okay? Because he wasn't going to let that happen. But he was getting hurt. He was getting banged up. He was getting hit with solid shots, losing his balance when he got hit. All signs of a fighter getting hurt, and there's a danger zone there. And kudos to the referee that saw that and just said, "Hey, this guy's not going to win this fight, and he's getting hurt, and there's a chance that there's some serious damage going to be." But I agree, the corner should have had enough.
The referee didn't need to stop it.
Yeah, to say, okay, my fighter.
Done the best
let's just go back to the drawing board and come back. But I'm really surprised how Horn doesn't have a plan B for anything. He couldn't change. Once the bullying and the lunging didn't work, there was nothing else he could do. He didn't know how to change to another style. He didn't know how to set and maybe start to engage. He didn't have any other. So I don't know if he just don't have any skills outside of what he does, or what, but obviously last night he didn't.
We know what the deal was. Yeah. He's not skilled. But let me say this. Congratulations and kudos to my boy Steven Nelson. Now he's 11-0, light heavyweight out of Omaha, part of the B&B promotions there in Omaha. 11-0 and 9 KOs, and man, he's a force to be reckoned with. And I like the way Womack is not putting him in there with guys that are just killers just yet. But my boy Steven Nelson, hey man, I like what you're doing. I like what's happening there.
and I'm going to mention that when you get a fighter, when you're a trainer or a manager of a fighter like Steven Nelson, you know, it's easy to move them right on the board, because they, you know, other fighters that typically when you're building up a fighter with talent, you always have that fighter that comes to you, and they always have that reservation about stepping up and fighting the tough competition.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have that in Steven Nelson. Steven Nelson says, "Bring it. This is who I am, and I know what I can do. Give me who you're going to bring." And he's proven that he's moving fast. He's climbing the ladder fast, and like you said,
but not too fast.
Well,
that's the thing.
There's a strategy there,
yes.
And it's a good strategy.
Yes.
But my point is, it's not going to take him years to get into that marquee status. He's ready to get there now.
Yeah,
he's ready to get there.
Right there.
Yeah.
All right, folks. That's the end of our second segment, and you know we're getting ready for our third segment, our fan favorite, where we have the open topic, where Radio and I are going to butt heads on something. I don't know what it is just yet, but we definitely will butt heads.
Okay.
So as we end every segment of Inside Boxing's Throwdown, keep your hands up, relax, like happy.